So let's talk about Hennessey Digital and the way in which we deal with content. For one, we don't just write content for the sake of writing content. That is a bad thing, right? If you just hire like a blog writer and you just give them no input, you say, I just need 4 blog posts a month, and they have no idea what they're writing about. They're publishing it. They're not internally linking it correctly. Anyway, that's just kind of a bad thing. And I would say save your money. Don't even invest in that. How we do it is we do it a little bit differently. And this is from years and years of experience of studying what works and what doesn't. But everything that we do starts with a conversation with our client, trying to understand, who is their target audience? Who are they speaking to? What is their voice, right? So getting all that right, but then actually developing a content strategy that's done on an Excel spreadsheet, right? Where we know the keyword research, we know the search volume of the phrases that we're trying to get, we understand the ROI for each of the different pages. And so everything kind of gets added onto an Excel spreadsheet, and we kind of break it down into months and quarters. So this month we're going to write this 50 pages, and next month we're going to write these 50 pages. And this is what the URL structure is going to look like. And this is what the H1 tag is going to look like. This is what the title tag is going to look like. This is what all the internal links are going to look like. So it's like building a house, right? You don't just show up and build a house and just imagine all right, here's a 2x4. Where does this go? It's all kind of by design, right? So that's the first piece, is getting the strategy right. The second piece is then basically writing the content, right? And so we write content, truly to satisfy the intent of somebody that's doing a search, right? And so a lot of times people say, well, do you have lawyers that are writing the content? And my answer is no, because I'm not writing to other lawyers, right? I'm not going to, confuse, somebody with an 8th grade education that was involved in a car accident, with a bunch of legalese and scare them away, right? I want to kind of make sure that we address the pain points. Hey, I bet, you're involved in a car accident. You're probably wondering, how am I going to pay my medical bills? You're wondering, how are you going to basically get your car fixed? You're wondering, you don't have any transportation to get to an attorney's office. How can an attorney help? Right? All those questions, right? That's the stuff that you want to kind of talk to the target audience, right? Then you get into some of the details. And there are certain ways that we're writing both for a human being, but we're also writing for a search engine too. And so we do that in terms of kind of modifying, the subheadings, right? They call those H2s and H3s, right? So there are things that we do to try to manipulate search so that we rank higher, right? And then we also use third-party tools as well that we do to kind of look at the competition, right? Every single search query is different. And so we study the competition, and we're able to see exact things the top 10 results, every single result, the average length of content for the top 10 results is 720 words, right? So we don't want to write a page that's 4,000 words when we know that, the average length for this specific query is 1,700 words, right? So things like that are important. And then from there, once we write the content, we send it over to the client for review. After they approve it, then we publish it. After it gets published, we start driving links to it. We drive internal links to it. And then we try to, grow organically to the top 3 so that our clients get more traffic and more revenue.